Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mr. Ezemeka, and I want to talk to you about something very important. And I want you to listen to me attentively and intently, because I can assure you that your life will not remain the same. I want to start by asking you a question, and the question is, how do you convince someone born in a rural area with no infrastructure, no social amenities, that he's going to be successful? How do you convince an orphan, no father, no mother, no help anywhere, that he or she will one day become great or successful in life? How can you convince someone who is born by parents that has nothing? They cannot afford his or her tuition. There is nothing to show. How do you convince that kind of person that he or she can be successful? That is the question. Do you have an answer to it? You see, in life, so many things are happening. Many people are in a situation where there is no hope anywhere. Maybe you are in that situation right now. I want you to listen to me, because you're going to hear something that is going to transform your life. In life, we have our earthly parents who will try their best to afford or to provide for us. But sometimes their abilities don't meet our requirements. Their provisions don't meet our requirements. In that situation, what do? That is the time to graduate to your Heavenly Father. That is a creator of the universe. When you leave your earthly father and come to his standard and begin to think the kind of thoughts he wants you to think, you move from impossibilities to possibilities. That is what happens. If you are fortunate enough to have parents that provided for you, sent you to good school, paid your tuition, provided for you, congratulations. But what I'm telling you is that there are people out there who don't have those privileges. People who are suffering every day. People who find it hard to enjoy 3 square meals per day. I don't know if you are in that situation, and you've looked around and found that there is no way out. Nobody to support you. Nobody to help you. Why am I telling you this? Because I was in that situation. I was in that situation where there was nobody to support me. And the question is, how do you survive? How do you survive if you find yourself in such situation? How do you continue to believe in yourself when there is nothing to convince you about it? The way out is to shift your thoughts towards your earthly parents to your Heavenly Father, who cares for you, who loves you, who has the power to make you great. He said he raised the poor out of the dust and a beggar from the donkey and seated him among princes. That is a lot for me. That means a lot to me. Are you getting the point now? Maybe you are in school. You cannot even afford your tuition. You find it hard to meet up with the demands, with the requirements. Do you know that when your parents fail, your Heavenly Father cannot fail you? As a young child, I was given to my uncle who lived in the city. I went there, and my uncle could not even finish primary school. He stopped at primary 4. So there's no value for education. He doesn't have value for it. So during my primary school, it got to a point where I had to sit for primary school leaving certificate. He could not pay for me. Yes. So I didn't sit for it because he didn't pay for it. I don't know what you're going through. I went to secondary school because after that incident, my father got angry and took me back to the village, and I started my secondary school. He tried his best, struggling, and finally I graduated from secondary school. At that point, there was nothing to do. I looked around and there was nothing to hold on to. I knew that with the level of resources we had, he cannot afford to send me to a higher institution. What did I do? I left the village to the city. And when I got there, there was nothing to do. So I started by selling gala in the street. All of you know what gala is. People still sell it today. That was what I started with. And I didn't have money to buy a carton. Somebody gave to me, I paid and balanced it. So on daily basis, I go to the market. After selling, I will take the capital and I will give the capital to the owner and take the profit out of it. That was what I did for 3 years. The question is, how do you start? When you've called everybody and nobody's helping you, you got to take responsibility. You got to tell yourself that if you end up as a failure in life, that is your fault. Because once you begin to blame others, once you begin to say that because my parents, my father, my mother didn't do this, that is why my life is like this, you have short-circuited your creativity. You will never become anything because that is what you actually wanted. I looked around, I looked at myself, I said to myself, what can I do? How do I start? That is the question. Can you start from nothing? Can you start by meeting someone who will give you products to start with? You need to start small. People are going to laugh at you. Your friends are going to despise you. They're going to call you all sorts of names. But you have a mission. There is something you want to accomplish. You want to get out of that situation where you sit at home from morning to night, and people that take care of your guidance, they are the people providing food for you every day. Until you say enough is enough, your situation will remain the way it is. Because of your condition, if you're born in a family that you don't have nobody to support you, you know that there is a kind of mindset and lifestyle that you must adopt. Because I wanted to make a difference. Because I wanted to change the way things are. Because I wanted to change the way things go on in my life. I knew that the only way out is to seek for knowledge. So I began to read books. How many books have you read this year? Do you know that the secrets of progress, success, productivity is hidden in books? Have you read any this year? Because nothing happens until you change. Until you change, nothing is going to change. You keep blaming everybody. You keep blaming everybody. That is not going to provide solution any day. Do you know, I moved from selling gala to become a commercial motorcyclist. Yes. Someone advised me, Emeka, since you are diligent enough to sell gala and you started yours, I can get a motorcycle for you. And I said, really? He said, yes. If you're willing to ride it, then I'm going to get it for you. That was it. You're going to start small and you think people are not watching you. You got to cultivate what they call integrity. You must be dependable because you must have a vision, have a target. You have where you're going. That determines your action, your attitude, your relationship with people. Very important. Yes. Are you dependable? Are you trustworthy? To my greatest surprise, the next day, the man went and bought a motorcycle for me. I said, do you really believe I can do it? He said, yes, I know you can. But do you know the danger involved? That means on daily basis, I'm not sure of being alive, of remaining alive, because I have to maneuver myself in between cars and motorcycles everywhere. But I made up my mind to. Do you know that those who are afraid to die, they are often the people that die most of the time? But those who want to die are the people that don't die. Because once you make up your mind that no matter what happens, you're going to get whatever your goal is accomplished, nothing can stop you. I made up my mind that this situation is not going to remain. That passion was what took over me as a commercial motorcyclist. I made up my mind to pay every dime of the bike, because it was on hire purchase. So on daily basis, I began to pay. Suddenly, I put money together and rented an apartment. Are you getting the point? So you can start small and grow, but you must have a target. You must have where you're going, because that is going to determine your attitude. That is going to determine your relationship with people. That same motorcycle was what I was using, and someone advised me to process my admission form. And that was how I got into higher institution. The situation was so tough for me, because then I had to pay the owner of the motorcycle, I had to pay my school fees, and I still had to feed myself and pay the rent. But that was a training process. Yes, it was a training process. I never knew that today those things I went through is going to be, my ability to endure pressure, to endure hardness. I never knew I was building leadership skill, the ability to resolve crisis. That is crisis management. Because I remember under the rain and the sun, I was working because I never wanted to be a failure. I want you to think about this. I want you to know that you have greatness inside of you. I want you to take responsibility. I want you to know that you have the ability to be and do far more than you can ever begin to imagine. I want you to make up your mind not to be a failure. I want you to make up your mind to start something. You have to start doing something. If you are not currently doing something and you're blaming one person or the other for being the reason you are a failure, you're going to remain like that. You're not a wood. You are a human being. You have creativity. You can start something and make it very large, make it very big, beyond the imaginations of men. That is what I found out. And I'm telling you this, that no matter where you're born, you can become great. How? You have to trust in the creator of the universe. You have to believe he can help you. It was when I realized that he loves me more than I even love myself. He loves me more than my parents. That was when my faith took over. He said, why we look not at things which are seen, because they are temporal, but we look at things which are not seen, because they are internal. That is where your gaze is upon where you're going. Despite the fact that currently you don't have nothing to show for it, but you have seen where you're going. That is going to determine your thoughts. That is going to determine everything about you. Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That is just it. We've heard stories of people moving from nothing, becoming something. Go and study the biography of great men and women, and you find that they weren't born with silver spoon, but they made up their mind to change the story of their life. Because our attitude, our actions, our behavior is a product of the stories we've believed about ourselves. You have greatness inside of you. You have the ability to be and do far more than you can ever begin to imagine. Before I round up, I want to share with you some secrets to working with people. I read the book of Proverbs in the Bible. He said, if you want God and men to like you, to love you, he said, be loyal and humble. So humility and loyalty is the secret to working with people. Everybody just wants you around. I have practicalized it and I know it's working. And that's what I'm telling you. You got to be dependable. You got to be straightforward. Because for you to be successful and make a difference in the world, you have to apply this principle. You put others first before you. People will think you are a fool. People will think you are insane. But that is the sacrifice you need to pay for you to come out of the crowd. All the limitations, all your family background and whatever you've been through doesn't matter when it is time for you to be lifted. But what is going to keep you on the ground is your attitude, because attitude is everything. So apply loyalty and humility if you want to be successful in life. If you want to be successful in dealing with people, in relating with people, and you find that people want to help you. Yes, if you work in a company, they don't want you to go. If you have a friend, they don't want you to go. Wherever you find yourself, you find that you find it very easy to relate with people. And that is where success begins. This is what I have for you for today. I remain your friend and neighbor, Emeka Eze. I'm always there to inspire you, to motivate you till you achieve your dream. Always know that I love you, and I will continue to do that. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.